All right, Shalom. I'm just going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, the bonus of the apostles as a millstone who will teach world peace to the Akim Plus in this true Shalom. Now, this quick lesson going into this article, going into, this article centered around this monkeypox, this disease, this pestilence, spoken of in the Bible. It is biblical that pestilences will arise in the last days. So I'm gonna get this article centered around this, and this title of this lesson is gonna be plagues. The plagues. You know. All right, and I got a few scriptures backing this up, and I want to hop right into this. All right. Now it says Dallas resident has. This is the title of the article. It says Dallas resident has Texas' first ever case of monkeypox, but it's not a reason for alarm. And that's not true because it may not be so harmful right now, but soon it might turn into something major. So I'm gonna keep reading. It says the patient who traveled, and that's just how the devil works. He'll tell you one thing, and the other it'll transpire into something truth to the truth. All right. So it says the patient who traveled to Dallas from Nigeria is in isolation at a hospital, health officials say. All right. And I'm going to go down to scroll down right here. It says the patient flew to Dallas Love Field from Atlanta on July 9th after arriving. Salakia, I'm trying to get this off of here. It says the patient flew to Dallas Love Field from Atlanta on July 9th after arriving in the country earlier that day on a flight from Lagos, Nigeria, officials said. Health officials said the patient, whose identity was not released, was in isolation at a Dallas hospital and was stable. The federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention was working with its counterparts in Nigeria to determine how the patient contracted the virus. According to Dr. Philip Huang, Salakia. All right. According to Dr. Philip Huang, Dallas County's public health director, the patient went to the hospital Tuesday, 4 days after arriving in Dallas. Local health officials did preliminary tests, did preliminary tests, and the CDC confirmed the diagnosis of monkeypox on Thursday. And I'm gonna keep reading. It says state, local, and federal health officials, along with the airline, were working to identify people who may have had close contact with the passenger during the flights, but they expect the number of potential contacts to be low. Those contacts will be monitored for 21 days, receiving twice daily calls from health officials checking on whether they have developed any symptoms. Officials noted that because travelers are required to wear masks on flights and in airports to help prevent the spread of COVID-19, the potential for the transmission of monkeypox was diminished. With everyone wearing masks, that really reduce any risk in those settings, Huang said. So that's it on this article. I'm gonna get some scriptures backing this up. You know, I don't want to make this lesson too long or the article to be too long, so I'm gonna get this right here. In Matthew 24th chapter and the 7th verse, his for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, which are the diseases, and the famines are happening right now as we speak. It may be happening, it may not be happening mainstream, but it's happening behind the scenes. It's happening behind the scenes, whether you know it or not. That's why you have to do your research, and that's why you have to watch and pray. And Lord will not get the scripture on that. All right. All right. It says in earthquakes and in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. So it says all these are the beginning of sorrows. So even though things aren't happening right now, as far as Jacob's trouble or anything major, which everything that's happening right now is major. You know, just to put that out there. For those who don't know, or those who are maybe confused or maybe you know you know you know kind of surprised that this happened. Things are gonna happen. One way or another. Just like it says in Habakkuk, and Lord willing, I get that as well. It says, though it tear away for it, it shall surely come. So these prophecies are going to happen one way or another. So let's get I got Luke 21 and verse 36. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. So, that's why we have to watch and pray always. That way we won't get caught up in the snares of the so-called white man, because so-called white man can easily put you in the snare if you let him. But that's why we have the whole armor. That's why we have the shield of Yahweh Shema Shah. So we have the shield of faith. In the whole armor of the Most High. You know, the whole armor of Yahweh Shema Shah. He's the one who guides us and protects us. From these dangers. You know, He's the one who protects us and guides us and delivers us from trials and tribulations. As far as trials and tribulation, and major things to minor things. You know, and it says that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. All right. So when the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shah, comes back, we want to be found worthy. You know, by going out to the highways, by in the byways, and doing the work, which is making these videos, for the elect to be edified, and for uh, um and reading, studying, fasting, praying, doing the diligent, doing the due diligence of the elect, representation of the elect, you know, starting with Apostles Edis Great Millstone on down, all right, which we learned from, all right. So let's get Psalms the 10th chapter. Psalms the 10th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse um start at verse 4. It says the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not all in his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit, and fraud on his tongue. His mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. So that's what's happening right now. You see on the news, every morning, you see a so-called white man telling you that, hey, take this jab, everything's gonna be fine. Take this jab, everything's gonna be fine. And it's speaking to the so-called the so-called Negroes, like to the Native Americans, you Israelites out there, you tribes, that's who he's coming for, you know, you know, he's coming for the whole world, and he's coming for the whole world, all the nations, but he's ultimately coming for you tribes, that's who he's focused on, because he can get you first, you know, and more, and many more things. All right, so you know, um, let's get Psalms 37. Psalms 37, starting at verse 7, says, "Rest in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." So we have to rest in Yahweh Shem Shai. So we have to rest in Yahweh Shem Shai. Salaki, bro. Salaki, brothers. You know, um, got interrupted, but this is I'm reading this one more time. Psalms 37 and verse 7. "Rest in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and wait patiently for him. Fear not thyself because of him who prospered in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." So, the man who's bringing these wicked devices to pass is the so-called white man. Esau Edom. Because he wants to slay his brother Jacob ultimately in the end game, at the end, at the very end, he's gonna try to slay his brother Jacob, just like it happened in the ancient days. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything happens for a reason, and everything happens you know um, like they say, history repeats itself. All right, you know, and they're trying to bring these wicked devices to pass. So we have to stay vigilant and stay circumspect. That's what we try to do. You know, and um let's get Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2, starting at verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall not. But at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So sooner or later, we're gonna get the kingdom. Sooner or later we're gonna reign over these nations. Starting with the so-called white man. You know, soon we gonna end up, you know, reigning over them. Sooner or later we're gonna tread upon their necks. You know, you know, you know, and we're gonna rule over these nations. But with that, that was just a quick lesson going into this article. I just wanted to bring that out just for edification. You know, and with that, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bahashim Karkadash, the Apostle, as we mill song, who will teach well pieces that I can push in the truth. Shalom.